there, Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, on my channel I talk about Broadway books and television. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the latest news on and off Broadway, stuff that happened within the week that I think is exciting and interesting. So maybe you missed these things that came out this week, so thought I'd make this video, let you know what happened this week on and off Broadway. So the first thing that happened this week, or I should say the end of last week, last Sunday, the musical Chess opened up at the Imperial Theater. This is the very first Broadway revival of the musical, which I just recently found out that this show actually premiered at the Imperial Theater back in 1988. So I always find that so amazing when a show, gets revived and actually plays at the same theater that it originally played at, because that doesn't happen too often. So when it does, it's very exciting. But yeah, so the reviews for Chess came out. What I gather is that the show itself still kind of doesn't work. They've tried working on the book for this musical for the last 40 years, I believe, or so. So I mean, maybe it's just not a book that works for the show. I don't know, because I haven't seen it yet. I would love to see it though. This is the #1 show I would love to see on Broadway right now. Regardless of that being the case, what the reviews seem to agree on overall is that the performances are amazing. You have Michele, Aaron Tveit, and Nicholas Christopher all as the leads in the musical. And no surprise here, they all got really amazing reviews. I saw Michele many years ago in Spring Awakening, and she was fantastic in that show. And I've seen Aaron Tveit in, I believe, 4 shows. I saw him in Hairspray. I saw him in Next to Normal, Catch Me If You Can, and Moulin Rouge. And so he's just one of my favorite Broadway performers ever. So yeah, very much not surprised that, they all love the performances in this show. They just seem like they're probably absolutely amazing. The only performer I haven't seen in a show yet is Nicholas Christopher, but I've heard such amazing things about his performance in Chess. Will for sure not be surprised if he gets a Tony nomination and possibly a Tony win for his performance in Chess. I hear it's that good. So yeah, even if the show itself still doesn't work, I still would love to see it for the performances alone and the score. I'm not familiar with the score per se, but I am familiar with a few of the songs. So yeah, it just has a really good score from the songs that I've heard, and it's definitely a show I would love to see on Broadway. And in case you didn't know, it was announced a little bit of time ago that the show was supposed to originally end in March, but they extended it now, I believe, through May 5th. And if the show gets, a lot of Tony nominations, I won't be surprised at all if the show extends through June or July. So yeah, that's the show that opened on Broadway this week, or last week I should say, because it opened last Sunday. Another show that I've been wanting to see since I knew it existed is Oh Mary, which is a comedy playing at the Lyceum Theater. Jake Krakowski recently joined the production in, I believe, October, and it was around that time that Cheyenne Jackson also joined the show as well. I believe Cheyenne Jackson is playing Mary's assistant in the play, and this was a really big deal for me when I heard about this casting news, because, I am a huge fan of Xanadu on Broadway. I saw the show 10 times on Broadway. And originally, Xanadu in the workshops, Jane Krakowski played Kira and Cheyenne Jackson played Sunny. And so when the show transferred to Broadway, Jane Krakowski at that time was offered 30 Rock on NBC, and so she didn't end up doing the show. I love Xanadu so much, and Cheyenne Jackson's one of my favorite Broadway actors of all time. So when I heard about the original Kira and Sunny, being in a show together, I was like, I want to see this. I want to see this now even more than I did before. This week it was announced that Cheyenne Jackson would be extending his role in Oh Mary through, I believe, January 25th. So that's so amazing. I want to see this show so much. And when I heard Cheyenne Jackson was in it, I was like, I want to see even more. I'm not going to probably get to. Just seeing shows isn't quite a part of my life like it once was. That's just how it goes sometimes. But definitely another show I would love to see on Broadway right now, because Xanadu, Sunny is on Broadway, Kira's on Broadway, together again. So yeah, I would love to see it. But moving on now. And the last bit of theater news that I'll be talking about today in this video is that Romy and Michele's high school reunion, currently playing at Stage 42 off Broadway, announced that the show will be closing on November 30th. When this news came out, I was honestly at first, I haven't seen the show, so I can't say for myself if it's actually good or not. But for someone who hasn't seen the show, I was, surprised by this, news. I was like, wow, this is really fast. I didn't expect this to happen so soon after, opening on Broadway, off Broadway, I should say. What really made me interested in seeing this musical is that I love the movie, and I, love the casting. Laura Bell Bundy and Cara Lindsay are playing Romy and Michele. Yes, I've known about the show since 2017. In 2017, the show had an out-of-town tryout at Seattle's Fifth Avenue Theater. And not all the time, but a lot of times when Broadway shows have their out-of-town tryout, within a year or two or maybe three, the show will transfer to Broadway or transfer to New York. And when that didn't happen with the show, I didn't think much of it at the time, but then when the show finally announced it was coming to off-Broadway this fall, I was thinking to myself, why did it take so long for this show to, come to New York finally? And that's when I was like, maybe I should check out the review. And yeah, the show didn't get good reviews at all, so it's no surprise that the show took so long to make its way to New York. The hope was that after so much time, maybe they were able to work out the things about the show that didn't work the first time around. And then also, like with Laura Bell Bundy and Cara Lindsay in the show, I thought the show really had potential to be, really great. But for the show to close so soon after starting, I'm getting the impression that maybe they just weren't able to work out those things about the show that didn't work the first time around. I've heard a few songs from the show, and I wasn't like overall like super impressed. It was just kind of like a fun, lively pop score. I mean, I wouldn't say from what I heard it was like bad or anything, but maybe nothing that like really stands out for being like amazing per se. There is one song in the show, I forget what it's called, but it so gets stuck in your head. Like, I haven't even seen the show, but I saw like a clip of the show with the song, and it's like they're changing the world one alphabet at a time. Like, that's the chorus or something. And like, however you feel about the show and the score, if you like the show, if you don't like the show, that song does get stuck in your head, or that chorus of that song gets stuck in your head. All the theater news that I'll be talking about in today's video. Until next time, bye.